الآن توب ستوريز من وطن الكرامة.
Hello, welcome to Watan Al-Karama News Channel. It's 9 p.m. our time for top stories, and we start with latest developments in Libya. A senior military source said that the Arab Libyan armed forces and their supporting forces took control of a large part of Al-Hawari area during clashes in the district on Saturday. The source noted that the Arab Libyan armed forces fought fierce battles in Al-Hawari with heavy and medium weapons against terrorist Daesh elements, stressing that the armed forces have made great progress up to the crossroads of the main administration of the industrial river water project in Al-Hawari district. Moreover, the source pointed out that the forces are besieging some pockets that still hide inside the psychiatric hospital in the region. The source also said that the armed forces are achieving progress towards the cement factory to free it from the grip of terrorist groups, adding that the troops were equipped with artillery guns to hit positions of militias near the factory. A military source confirmed the death of one of terrorist Daesh elements called Rajab Bakbak during armed forces fighting in a Sabri district in Benghazi. The source noted that the so-called Bakbak is one of residents of Nshra city, pointing out that he came to Benghazi to fight with the terrorist militia. The source added that there are many bodies belonging to terrorist militias in a Sabri district due to targeting the terrorist positions by armed forces with heavy defensive weapons, as well as bombing their strongholds by Air Force. Arab Libyan armed forces provided Lithi district of Benghazi with military reinforcements. According to military sources, the armed forces have made great progress in Lithi district. The sources added that terrorist Daesh group retreated in the city of Benghazi after fierce clashes in Al-Gwarisha that they killed 4 terrorists. A delegation of municipalities members in Amazigh city of Nafusa mountain headed to the southern region for resumption of reconciliation efforts between Tabo and Tuareg tribes. For his part, Mayor of Jadi municipality, Saeed El-Badrani, confirmed that the delegation will visit municipalities of Sabha and Ubari to meet the wise men of Tuareg and Tabo tribes and to discuss the mechanism of implementing what has been agreed upon in the first round of reconciliation items between the crisis parties in the region. For his part, Jaju municipalities member Sulaiman El Gasbi stressed that this round will also tackle some of the breakthroughs that have occurred during the last period between the crisis parties, as well as focusing on reaching a final agreement that ends the current conflict. And still Libya, one parliament member of the dialogue delegation said that UN envoy Bernardino Leon stressed during his recent meeting with the delegation that the formation of a unity government will be announced in scheduled time. The parliament member added that Leon expressed his concern of outgoing General National Congress and it will form next week a rescue government, ignoring the party that will be absent from negotiations. He also noted that the outgoing Congress is trying to prolong the negotiations to October month in order to reach a stage when the parliament have ended its term and become with a constitutional position similar to that of the outgoing Congress. One of the participating members in Sekhirat dialogue said that a meeting will be held next Tuesday between members of the outgoing Congress and representatives of the UN support mission in Libya, as well as ambassadors of Western countries that follow a dialogue in Turkey. The source added that the meeting, which will be held under the auspices of the US and Turkey, will focus on resolving positions of outgoing Congress towards the current political dialogue. The 8 parliament members who boycotted meetings of Parliament in Tobruk, a number of members of outgoing General National Congress, as well as some independent political figures who support the dialogue, all will hold a meeting on Monday in Tunisia. And now we transfer to Arab arena, especially in Yemen. Saudi-led coalition airstrikes bound targets in the Yemeni capital Sana'a today, killing one man. Residents and witnesses said that the air offensive, which struck repeatedly military targets in Sana'a this morning, also hit a residential neighborhood, causing damage to homes and buildings and killing one civilian. In a separate incident today, Saudi-led warplanes killed 36 civilians working at a bottling plant in the northern Yemen province of Hajjah. Coalition spokesman Brigadier General Ahmed Asiri denied the strike had hit a civilian target, saying it was a location used by Houthi to make improvised explosive devices and to train African migrants whom they had forced to take up arms. He accused the Houthis of using African migrants stuck in Yemen after arriving by sea before the war in the hope of crossing the Saudi border and finding work in the oil producer as cannon fodder in dangerous border operation. The Turkish Foreign Ministry has said that Turkish jets took part in US-led coalition airstrikes against terrorist Daesh group in Syria for the first time. Turkey last month agreed to open its strategically important air bases to the coalition, but has been reluctant to play a leading role in the fight against extremist Daesh group, fearing a backlash. Friday's operation follows a technical agreement with the United States on August 24 about Turkey's role in the campaign against the militants who control large areas of Syria and Iraq. Separately, 4 Turkish jets hit extremist Daesh targets in Aleppo on Saturday, private Dogan news agency said today. On July 24, Turkish warplanes carried out its first strike against terrorist Daesh group in Syria, but not as part of the coalition operation. Commenting on the last strikes, Pentagon spokesman Peter Cook released a statement commending Turkey for its participation in coalition efforts to degrade and ultimately defeat the terrorist group. A spokesman for India's Border Security Force BSF said the Pakistan Rangers resorted to unprovoked firing, but Pakistan Rangers spokesman Major Wahid Bukhari gave a different account, saying that the unprovoked firing had starting overnight from India's side. It was followed by retaliation from Rangers. A Pakistani military statement also said its troops are befittingly responding to Indian firing, holding a large banner. The protesters showed slogans against India and in favor of Pakistan Army. Pakistan Defense Minister Khawaja as of today warned India that it will suffer heavy losses, which it would remember for decades if it tries to impose a war in his country. Tensions have been running high between the nuclear-armed neighbors since peace talks that were due to be held last weekend were called off at the last minute. The talks had been agreed on at a meeting last month in Russia between Prime Ministers Narendra Modi of India and Nawaz Sharif of Pakistan, but fell apart over whether the disrupted territory of Kashmir should be put on the agenda. And now we transfer to Greece. Former Greek Premier Alex Tsipras urged supporters to give him a fresh mandate to complete the country's political transformation, as Paul showed his leftist Syriza's party's lead slipping ahead of elections next month. Tsipras promptly resigned last week days after clinching an 86 billion euros ballot package from Greece's Eurozone and International Monetary Fund lenders, aiming to crush a rebellion by far-left lawmakers and tighten his grip on power. Hopes that the lenders might so resolve differences over how to tackle Greece's existing debt rose yesterday when IMF head Christine Lagarde told a Swiss newspaper a form of restructuring rather than outright forgiveness should enable the country to cope. Eurozone creditors, notably Germany, have ruled out a write-down, but Tsipras' gamble in calling nearly elections to be held on September 20 could backfire, opinion polls suggest, with most Greeks' disapproval of his decision to seek a fresh mandate and how he handled the talks with the creditors. And finally, we transfer to the migration crisis. French Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius accused Eastern European states, notably Hungary today, of a scandalous policy towards refugees going against the values of the European Union. Some European governments have refused to take in refugees and resisted European Union proposals to agree a common plan to do more to deal with the crisis, which is intensifying due to a surge in migrants fleeing war and poverty in Africa, Asia and the Middle East. Hungary, which is part of Europe's passport-free Schengen zone, is building a fence along its border with Serbia to contain what it calls a threat to European security, prosperity and identity. The International Organization for Migration estimates 1/3 people have crossed the Mediterranean so far this year to arrive in southern Europe. In a joint statement on Sunday with his British and German counterparts, French Interim Minister Bernard Jazivon said they had asked for an urgent summit to discuss migration in the next couple of weeks. My audience, that is a wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website, www.watanalkarama.tv. Thanks for being with us. See you next time. My greeting, Rانيا البليدى.